Hello, friends. Co-host Ryan here. Well, it finally happened. We officially had a lost episode due to a corrupted audio file. Or did we? That's right. You don't know where I'm going. I'm playing with your emotions like the puppet master. When I opened up the files for this episode, this is interesting for everyone. There was data there, but they all read as 0 minutes long, and so after Googling like frantically and drinking my rage, I managed to get them to open in VLC Media Player, but couldn't get them to save as any audio file another program would recognize, yada, yada, yada. My workaround was playing them on VLC and recording them back into the Zoom recorder, which is just like perfect, right? Well, no, because the files were, I think the technical term is fucked to shit. So there was a drift in each track separately, so I had to go in and edit them all manually to sync them up, which took like about 2 hours per track. So I've listened to this episode in the raw like 6 times. Is it any good? I don't know. I'm too close to it at this point. I say all that to say this. The audio on this episode isn't bad, but it is not up to our usual standard, and there are some points where it sounds like we're in an echoey room. The first 5 seconds of the episode are the worst, and it clears up much better from there, I promise. The best part is that now I get to be super paranoid that this could happen again at any time. But on the bright side, we managed to save it without having to record again, and with almost 200 episodes under our belt, one panic-inducing tech issue for this editor isn't too bad. So I hope you fucking enjoy this one, because if you're like, you bothered saving this? I mean, that would be sadder than the movie Marley and Me, which is... Oh, why did I bring that up? Okay, well, my arm is getting tired from patting myself on the back for salvaging this episode, so let's fucking get to it. On with the show, and Pistols at Dawn.
Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost.
Hello, friends, and welcome to the Autopod Decepticast, your bi-weekly podcast that delivers an episode-by-episode breakdown of the original G1 series. This is episode number 185. 2 in a row, getting it right, on
Two
track.
in the trap, ready to go.
This covering episode number 71, titled The Killing Jar, from September 29th, 1986. Did we watch different episodes? Chaos... I guess I just didn't put the name in there. Hey, you know what?
I'm so happy we still have a mistake.
It can't be perfect. I work on these things late at night.
It's funny he says that, and it literally says chaos on the screen in front of him.
It's true, but I wasn't looking at that. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Aaron, and with me are the Karate Kommandos. To my Chuck Norris, please introduce yourselves.
I'm Ryan.
And I'm Caleb.
Are you familiar with the show Chuck Norris Karate Kommandos?
I am not.
And
Nope.
it's Commando with a K, by the way.
Ugh.
2 Ks, one away.
We need to see one more.
It was an American animated television series originally aired in 1986. They did 5 episodes and had a toy line. Created by and starred Chuck Norris as himself.
No shit.
It was
He created that, huh?
Did he make the action figures himself, too?
It was produced by Ruby Spears Enterprises. It was a fictionalized version of Chuck Norris as a United States government operative with a team of racially diverse warriors known as the Karate Kommandos. Together they fight against the Vulture organization led by Claw and his right-hand man, Super Ninja.
Oh, God.
It is mostly known for being modestly bad. It is occasionally run today on Adult Swim.
That's awesome.
In the It's So Terrible, It's Funny block of programming. It's also available on Tubi, I discovered.
I have to check that out after we're done.
Toy Galaxy did
Tubi.
a whole episode about it. Apparently it was canceled, or it didn't go forward because I don't know if it would have been the producers, but somebody high up that had, I guess, decision rights said it was too violent to be on television. And Chuck Norris was like, well, all these other things are on and they're more violent than my show. And the rationale allegedly is that might be so, but because Chuck Norris is a real person, it makes it more violent. Like Transformers aren't real, G.I. Joe's not real.
Seems tenuous at best.
Yeah, but because Chuck Norris is a real person, then people might think that some of the things he does are in the show are feasible. I don't know. It
seems like that producer just didn't like it.
Maybe
Didn't like Chuck Norris.
it's possible. Anything new with you people to cover here?
Nope.
It's been a good cucumber year.
Oh yeah, get them cukes.
Yeah, I think I've pickled 25 quarts so far.
Oh.
So get ready
Give
for
me some.
Get ready for pickle Christmas.
Booty box.
Can I have some right now?
I'll send you home with a jar.
God, booty boxes are just going to be all pickles and eggs.
Pickles and eggs.
Actually,
and pickled eggs.
You should pickle those eggs. Maybe that would be great. Send out just a little care package.
Pickled eggs generally need to be refrigerated.
Generally.
I'm also trying succession planting with cucumbers this year. So
Yeah.
the ones I have now are reaching the end of their fruit bearing, and the other ones that I planted like 3 weeks ago should be hitting pretty soon.
You also have that silver hair going on for yourself.
I do. I'm like a male gorilla.
A little one though.
Yeah, very small.
A baby gorilla.
A baby silverback gorilla.
I do. I bleached my hair blonde, and I really liked it. But the whole intention was to go to silver, and I went to silver, and I'm like, nah, I liked it better blonde.
I like it better silver now that it's soaked in on me. It's like, I think it feels good.
Now that it's been in your lap.
Yeah. The hair looks more full as I grab onto it and thrust it.
Try doing your pubic hair, Ryan. Blonde.
That seems like you're asking for a chemical burn.
I am.
But for you.
Maybe we'll talk about that if we ever do Manscaped again.
Caleb, nothing you care to update anybody on? The Harrison, the boys, anything, bro cells up to anything wacky?
Oh. No, I would say my crops, if we're talking gardening,
Sure.
my tomatoes, I planted 2 plants. They yielded 3 tomatoes, and they were all eaten by squirrels while I was gone.
Squirrels do like tomato. I do.
I have 0 tomatoes now.
Oh, man.
It's a horrible crop.
So you don't have any on there at all right now?
0. Something did not go well with my tomatoes this year.
Tomatoes haven't been very good for me this year either. I've been getting some, and they're just now, like, I have a bunch of green ones that are setting. It's always been an attrition game with squirrels because I would say, probably get about 15-20% of my crops. I do feed, I do always put seed out for squirrels and
Well, that's
and
not
birds.
a good idea.
I don't care.
But do you do it as a distraction or?
I don't do it for any reason other than I like feeding animals.
Okay.
And I'm like, they're going to eat them anyway. So I'm just like, I also don't use any kind of pesticides or anything. So
I don't.
take it. I'm fine.
Same. I don't either. I didn't use any Miracle Grow or anything, and those tend to obviously improve your harvest. But no, I'm not down with that either. I've just got to do something different with my soil next time around. I need to add more compost or something. So that's what the interesting things are in my life.
All right.
I generally put a little fish and some aspirin and blood meal and bone meal and then eggshells into my tomato hole and plant it as deep as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like he's doing better than you, Caleb. You could follow some of these
I have
rules.
like 20 plants, so it's,
He's
not as,
But even just losing 15% or so, that's a pretty good.
That's a complete shot in the dark. I'm just guessing because every day there's at least 1 or 2 gone.
Well, that I'm sure that the listener was certainly excited
Riveted
to hear
their
about.
earphones. They didn't fall
Garden
asleep
talk.
and drive into oncoming traffic.
Definitely.
Like Caleb did our last episode.
Yeah, I did, man. Boy, I sure did. Sleep at the wheel.
We'll definitely put a timestamp there for our listeners.
Fuck with you!
Yeah.
Ryan, hopefully the green theme, we were just speaking of green thumbs, but this is a green themed episode. Maybe you've got something absinthe based for us.
It's not absinthe based, but I do have a green theme. I will say right before we do that, I did make a note that we have about 1 year remaining for our reviews of G1 for our APDC schedule. Unless we do Headmasters, which I'm sure we'll cover, but probably not like episode by episode, because it's a lot.
And it's obnoxious.
Yeah, and apparently I haven't seen it, but all signs point to it's not the best.
I'm sure we've got a hiatus built in that'll stretch it out beyond that year mark.
Or if not, me and Aaron will think something
a solid winter break sounds good to me.
Well, after G1, I mean, we're gonna go to Beast Wars, so
I've heard talk of that in the I don't know, in the TF sphere, but
motherfuckers are clamoring for it.
Sounds like it. It'll be interesting for me because it'll be like I've never seen them, and it'll be like it'll be like
oh no, it sounds like Caleb's bought in. Damn it!
There'll be a lack of nostalgia for me.
Here's what I think is interesting is I don't know how many of our current listeners or whatever like Beast Wars or even were exposed to it. I would highly recommend it. I enjoyed it. But also I feel like it's something to bring in, like, you know, some other people that like it as well. Like, Kit and Harper love Beast Wars as well. And they I'm sure watched that before. They definitely watched it before they started doing G1. So
what years did those come out?
It was mid-90s, I believe.
So in the real world will be an interesting one.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Be a jump forward. And we could probably then start pulling in like high school stories and stuff at that point that we haven't already told.
Yeah, what a wonderful time that was. It'll be fun to reflect on that. George Bush was president. Or was it the end of the Clinton years?
No, that's in the Clinton.
Clinton was 92 to 98.
Yeah, it'll be smack dab in the Clinton years.
2000.
Yeah, it'll be cool. There'll be stuff.
I don't know.
Don't tell Ryan.
I've kind of surrendered to it.
Why are you surrendering? Are we going all the way to Beast Machines and all that other shit?
I don't know.
Do we have to do
that.
Beast Wars 2?
I don't know about that. I think after Beast Wars, we maybe move to like the animated or something. I don't know.
The one thing I do like about Beast Wars, referring back to last episode, is I know that there's kind of cross-faction romance that sparks up.
Yeah, Silverbolt and Black Arachnia.
Yeah, I don't know. The other thing that makes me not excited about it is because it's good. And so
there's plenty to make fun
half
of.
Half of this show is mocking.
There's plenty to make fun of. I do also. It's cool because like season 2 starts to bleed into G1.
Yeah, I get it. I actually bought the Beast Wars toy that just came out. That is Ravage from Beast Wars.
Oh yeah.
Uses the same mold as Cheetor, and it came with a cool little G1 Ravage tape, little bonus. I feel like there should be more in that picture.
It's a martini style drink.
To sustain us through our journey. Are you doing some aspirin from 1923?
Opening up a weird package.
Some powder.
Yeah, he's gonna like knock us out. I don't need help there.
We're about to be Cosby'd. Seriously, what is in that thing?
It's lemon twist.
He's turned his back to us.
This little dime bag of something over here.
I have a pinky ring I need to butter into. It won't be long now.
Some Eye of Newt in our drink.
My dad did, speaking of squirrels, my dad got he shoots them with a pellet gun. And he had a Winchester pellet gun, and he upgraded. He's got a new one that's got a scope and a suppressor on it. You should see. I'll show it to you.
Well, that was a sad story.
He also throws feed out into his yard for them.
Yeah, check it out. That's a pellet gun.
That thing looks like it could kill Kennedy. Has Harrison killed any squirrels?
No, we were just shooting at like cans with it.
Do you think Harrison's killed anything in his life?
He killed a deer.
Then the answer is a solid yes.
Yes, he's killed a deer.
I hate that time of year whenever I'm just assaulted by just being on Instagram and seeing dead animals.
Well, who are you following?
Your sister, for one.
Well, yeah, there you go.
I just thought of an idea where it would be Instagram post by your sister, and it's one of her first person leg shots.
Oh, sure.
But she's got her 8 legs lifted on top of a dead deer.
I wouldn't be surprised. That's really funny.
Hashtag girl power.
All right, you fuckers ready?
Yeah.
Oh, this cocktail ties in with today's episode because not only is it called the Chaos, but it is, well, it would be opalescent green, just like the monster in today's show, except that it's not because of the bitters. The true original Chaos cocktail is a martini-style cocktail invented in 2014 by Walter Nisi while working the Venice Symbian Orient Express in the train bar car called 3674. But I didn't like the drink. I felt it was far too. The reason that I brought the green into it, in addition to it being the name to the Chaos, is because it uses green chartreuse. I don't know if either of you guys have ever had that.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Green chartreuse is it's a liqueur that has like 130 different kinds of botanicals in it, and it's an extremely loud flavor. And I felt like it overpowered the drink that he made, so I basically altered this one to the point where it no longer is his drink, though it is inspired by it. And I'll put a link on our website to the original, or you can Google Walter Nisi, Nisi, Chaos Cocktail. So we're calling this version the Cup Chaos Cocktail. 1.5 ounces or 45 mils of gin, a 1/4 ounce, 7 mils of dry vermouth, a 1/4 ounce of green chartreuse, 1 drop of Angostura bitters, 1 drop of Peychaud's bitters, 1 drop of orange bitters. You could just go all with Ango if you don't want, or if you don't have the other two, or just orange. Then you fill a mixing glass with ice, stir all the ingredients together for 30 seconds, strain into a chilled coupe, and garnish with a lemon twist.
Nice. I'm a fan of all the various bitters of the world.
I like bitters a lot. I don't think we've made a Trinidad sour on this show yet. I should do that. It's very, very bitters heavy.
Well, I do like this. It's medicinal. I wouldn't call it refreshing, but it is interesting how you took a cocktail that was thematically on point and just totally made it not so. That's not a criticism. It's a commentary.
It sounds exactly like a criticism.
It's a commentary.
It's interesting how you made... Trust me, if you think this is medicinal, you would not have liked the original. All
the bitters are...
It blows out the gin, and even in this one, vanishes entirely. But in the other one, it's just like chartreuse is... Like, I think it stands up well to whiskey and stuff like that, but like this is a 1/4 ounce of it. And it's the loudest flavor by far. It's very similar to, like you said, Aaron, the Green Fairy.
Oh, absinthe.
Absinthe in that way.
Did you use your house gin?
No, this is just London dry gin. It's like, like most gin today is London dry gin. So use your favorite Ford's or Bombay or whatever you want, Tanqueray. You know how humble I like to be.
Of course, you're the most humble person
I've ever met. I should win an award for being this humble. The original cocktail, I did not like, and I do really like this version. I feel like it's super bright. The chartreuse is herbal, I feel like it also doesn't blow it out. And I'm not saying I could be the bar manager on the Venice Symbian Orient Express bar car, but I'll allow the audience to say it.
I think it'd be awesome. I think your calling is someday to be...
I'll invest.
A professional bartender.
Oh, God, what a treat to be a professional bartender.
Yeah, but in a bar that you own. I mean, of course, you'll partially own it. We'll all own it together, and we'll do it. It'll be a co-op thing. Everybody gets a piece of the action.
I think we've talked about this on this show before. My idea for in retirement having a hotel called the Millennium, which it has like 10 rooms, each from one decade of the Millennium, and then we'll have an attached bar. I don't know what it'll be called, the front room.
You better go front room.
Good old front room. That's a joke just for us.
I enjoy it. Caleb, what's your take?
I like it. I'm right there with you. I would not call it a refreshing drink, but
it's a good sipper.
But since it's medicinal, it is something that I enjoy.
It is one that I think is like one is enough. Like, I don't think you want to drink this all night by any means. I also bought the green chartreuse without ever having tried it, which I do not recommend, first of all, because it's like a $50 bottle.
And I'm like, I gotta do something with it, because on its own, like, even it's used so minimally in so few drinks and so in such small amounts that I'm like, some people would like to drink it like a martini, just chilled, and on its own, it's too much for me that way. I'll let you guys try it unadulterated on a break.
Oh, well, I definitely
I'm down
will.
with
It
that.
sounds like not something to look forward to, but I will do. I will do it. Oh, brothers, I have some reviews from the U.S. edition of Apple Podcasts to
reviews.
share.
I'm loving
Reviews
with
that you
all.
can use.
Perhaps you can use them. I don't know. We'll see. In June of this year, an Apple Podcast user going by the title of Das Roop says, headline, Inside Job, Follow the Money, Qui Bono. And their commentary is that the theme song slaps, a total banger. My only request is that they would make the world a better place by releasing the Real World audition tape. 5 stars. That is in
Caleb?
reference, huh?
Oh, I thought maybe Caleb had that tape.
I don't know where that I would
Oh,
think it,
the real world. Oh, the audition tape you did. I filmed it. You did, Aaron.
Yes.
For the
I
real
forgot
world.
that we brought that up, which makes me think this person is deep into the early episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I had that tape, I'd love to see what it looks like and cringe a little bit. You might have to write letters to MTV to get that. I don't know if they'll give it. I don't know what the producers were thinking in not casting a relatively uninteresting, not
Assistant
particularly
manager for Dairy
eyeball
Queen?
grabbing 18-year-old from the Ozark, but it's their loss.
It's true. I actually, I need to look through all of my old videotapes to see what I have of if any of our old stuff survives, because I found recently, I opened up a drawer in my filing cabinets over there and found a whole drawer full of videotapes I haven't looked at. So I'm like, there's a lot of old porn in there. Tasty Lovin', that's in there.
Who starred in that?
It's a 70s porn. It's the Voodoo Queen, or like the Ice Queen who has him in her power.
Oh,
now.
I think that was what is her name? Seta. There's some like very famous porn actress from that time in that movie, and I didn't know it at the time. And
I'm not sure. I haven't watched it this week. And then there's like, I think Where the Boys Aren't is in there. Yeah,
where aren't they?
in that pussy.
Video.
Yeah, well, if you come across it, there might be some other hijinks like our tapes that we made when we were in the audio
video
visual
production.
production class in high school, where we were doing some very deep documentary features.
Some real gonzo journalism.
Yeah. It's pretty bad. We were trying to get kicked out of stores. Which stores will let us be here?
It's almost like we had no ideas.
Was one of
Guess what? Walmart won't.
the mall didn't like it either.
No, we got strong-armed by some men.
Yeah.
But Bass Pro, they'll let you in.
Yeah. Videotape all day long.
You can go in the dressing rooms.
And I remember for a bit that we did where Ryan
Oh, that was so horrible.
Ryan was stealing either a swimsuit or ladies'
It
underwear.
was a swimsuit.
And it was this whole thing like you stole a bikini.
The premise, and I think I did it
The
to
premise is
Axel
you're a
X.
pervert.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the joke. Is I'm stealing this to like, I don't.
Or where.
I guess
Works either
but, like,
way.
either way, it's awful. Like it's stupid and awful.
But the security was there watching us the whole
Right.
time as we filmed that.
Yeah, the joke was like
They
it
were
was.
in on it. They were
Yeah,
like, this is
well, they
great.
had to be, like because I stuffed it into my shirt
Yeah. I mean, it was like
and
a
then like
shoplifting
crept out of
move.
the shot.
Yeah. It was the 90s, so he couldn't just openly buy it.
Yeah, no kidding.
He had to steal
That's
it.
embarrassing. If a man buying a lady swimsuit, gross. Yeah, it's so stupid. It did not age well. That joke didn't age well. Don't dox me. Don't come at me.
I really want to know what's in your lost archives.
I think we should watch him
Now,
sometime.
if that real world thing is in there and it doesn't make me wince too much, that
I don't think it's
I'd
in
post
there.
it.
I don't think I remember seeing it after we filmed it.
Darn. Thank you, Das Roop,
Is that what you wanted?
for bringing that memory back
Mm-hmm.
to light. Yeah, we filmed me. It couldn't have been worse. We filmed me at the Dairy Queen
Yep.
making blizzards.
Yep.
And then some, pedestrian high school art or maybe freshman and college level art for my art class. I don't remember what else we
Well,
did.
you're
I
being
don't
too
either.
hard. You're being too hard on yourself. I mean, that's
Did we
who
film
you
you
were then.
skateboarding, your sweet moves?
Oh yeah.
We have one more. This is from July from a user called Texneck, and their headline is Cranix and Chill, which I thought was pretty clever.
That is good.
Never heard that before. The copy says, I've made it through a lot of Transformers podcasts, and this is the definitive
Yes.
one when it
Yes.
comes to the 1980s cartoon and movie. They
That's
did.
right.
They did.
Just a little bit of an addendum.
The hosts are incredibly entertaining and focus mostly on the stories, characters, and animation rather than the actual toys. Plenty of fun banter, real-world factoids, Jeopardy-style games, and irreverent humor are mixed into these discussions about a Reagan-era children's show. 5 stars.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Great
See,
review.
Caleb, people like your trivia. You should do it when we ask you to.
I never said people didn't like my trivia.
I know.
I'm far too busy to be doing trivia these days. We have a Patreon, you know.
I do. That's just one time where I wasn't able to do the trivia.
It's true.
For $5, you can sponsor a question.
I did actually. That did work out well because I really enjoyed making that trivia game.
That was a good one.
Caleb's like, you can take it
That
over.
was-
No, yeah.
If you wonder what we're talking about, go listen to our two-parter review with More Than Meets the Pod and our Buffalo. What was it?
Buffalonians?
Buffalo or Buffalaint? I can't remember what I called it.
And I know it wasn't a criticism when they
Of course not.
mentioned the actual toys, but Mike Seibert is always saying it is about the toys. Like the most popular Transformers media out
Sure.
there is all very toy centered, and I wouldn't mind get into it a little bit more, and I sprinkle a little in when I find it relevant or entertaining.
What you need to
but-
do for Patreon exclusives is make little toy minisodes.
Maybe, and I've been having text exchanges with Safubi Samurai, who is a big toy guy across different brands, and I think it'd be fun to do a little something with him. But if that were the case, I'd probably want to take it beyond Patreon. But
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just time is tough. I have a million other things I also like to do in the world.
I like to ruminate
I like to master.
the art of origami.
I like to master
I'm
the.
folding 1,000 cranes.
Thank you, TexNeck.
Thank you.
for the review. Hey, everybody, feel free to hop on this hot trend that the kids are doing of going onto Apple Podcasts, international or domestic.
If you do international, please let us know in some other fashion because we cannot check it easily.
Like that's a pain.
Tweet it, just tweet at us or something. And
Whatever.
that's the easiest way
It's
to get
happened
hold of
before.
us.
As far as the Patreon goes, that's a thing that exists that people are
Hell
also
yeah.
liking,
Yeah,
trending up. And we appreciate and love all of our it's so good to actually I love it that there's enough people that there is this little community fostering where I see people interacting with each other on that, not just with us. So that's pretty cool. There is also a semi community on our Facebook presence, but we've kind of abandoned
The notorious
that again.
APDC group.
Well, the notorious APDC group has like 8 people.
Yeah, it's
They're very privileged people.
Yeah.
It's only because we haven't
we're not active.
we
on
haven't
it.
watered that garden, so to speak, to bring that kind of language back. But Alpha Magnus Creations, Debbie Skeeter, Jeff, Mike Seibert, Jeremy Bono, Michael Trimlett, the Cyber Informer, some have called him. Justin, Jonathan, Robinus Prime, Daniel V, Safubi Samurai, Chandler, J Soups, Maddie V, Nick Warren, Ken Bockelman, Big Ken, Moondog, I can't let it go. Big Ken, Alexis, Corey, Michael Andrews, James, and Julia. Always together, always in the same place. Requesting
always missionary, always inside each other.
Well, they're going to have to do it otherwise. I mean, there's been a request for
Then to do it otherwise?
they are going to get a bigger bass speaker and
Right. Howard Stern style.
Yes, exactly. Michael Ordway, Tim, Jason, and Thomas. Thank you so much for being a part of this.
I have a bunch of ideas for some booty box stuff for this year, and
Me too.
We
Moi.
had an inspiration for a button on the last episode,
Yeah.
so
We'll see if that makes it.
it will because I'm gonna create it because
Yeah.
you don't seem to like it, but I do.
I think I'm going to do a Torque 1 button. That's been
That's cool.
sparking my idea.
Isn't it Torque 3?
Yeah, whatever.
Well, but he's going to do it on Torque 1.
Yeah.
The first one, it's just a cube.
Yeah. It's just two dots and a line.
It's a googly eyes on a rock.
It's very easy to draw.
Yeah. By the way, buy stuff on our store. Did I fall asleep again?
Okay, well, last episode, kidnap bots and humans get unkidnapped. So that's it. That's all I wrote. So let's join our friends. Paul
You
Davis.
really hated that episode. Gosh.
No, I mean I didn't hate it. I wanted more out of it. I liked it so much. I wanted more.
You're like how inside the heart of every cynic is a true believer that's been wounded.
Yeah, man. That's exactly what I'm like. So let's join our friends Paul Davis and Toei once again, Mr. Jet, as we descend into chaos. That worked very well, Bane. We open on one of these miserable Skuxoid creatures cruising through the cosmos.
He seems pretty happy to
He's
me.
having a good time.
Well, he makes me miserable. I guess.
He's
like
having
him.
a blast.
Just cruising through the cosmos on some
On
kind
his-
of space snowmobile.
Yes.
He's got this bazooka. As he's joyriding, he's just firing his bazooka, and it has these powerful green crystal shards that have the ability to just shred anything that they're fired at.
Yeah, he's basically in a junk field just shooting at. It's the equivalent of like the guy who goes down to the junkyard and just pumps shotgun rounds into a washing machine, which is very fun.
But hold on, buddy. This is Decepticon turf. So Blastoff appears on the scene. It chases down Skuxface, as he calls him, and grounds him on a nearby psychedelic asteroid that I didn't realize until later is the planet Goo.
I don't know if it is, though. I guess it is, because that's Starship. Okay, well, you're going to have to pause it, first of all. Because I got it. So, yeah, I guess it is, because we just saw... Blastoff takes the gun away from the Skuxoid and shoots it up into the air, and it hits a ship that's...
Which, by the way, are people on that?
It's a random ship that gets...
Or is it another one of those, like, abandoned ships like from last episode?
Well, that's the question, because I was really confused for 2/3 of this episode, because they mentioned the ship. The ship seems to just be a derelict in orbit, and so Blastoff shoots it with this cannon with these green crystals, and it falls to the planet, which makes no sense.
Yeah.
Why it would do that.
Before he shoots it, do we see shots of it having, like, afterburn?
No. No.
Okay, well,
it's
that's
just
good.
floating.
That's reassuring.
Yeah.
So it appears to be unmanned.
Why are there so many derelict ships? How does a ship become derelict?
I guess if you just abandon it, anything can be a derelict.
Yeah.
But that, yeah, it's
I
confusing.
was a derelict child.
Yeah. Aww.
It's confusing because...
True story.
Yeah, you should have included that in the video.
Just me in a corner. I don't have a dad. And they're like, fuck, I'm depressed. We are definitely not putting this fuck on the show.
Have Ann on there, and you're like, get me out of here.
I wonder if if that tape ever even got inserted into a VCR.
That's a good question. Was it ever even watched?
Yeah.
So, okay. Anyway, the spaceship.
Where you're going with that is this Goo?
It is Goo, because the spaceship ends, like, later we see the Autobots on Goo, and this spaceship is on it. But it is confusing, because at that point they're talking about and I'm getting way ahead, but it'll make sense when we get there. They're talking about an Earth Defense Space Station.
Right.
Which I thought was supposed to be this ship, and I'm like...
I think it is.
No, it isn't.
It's not?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Because they say that spaceships have been showing up on this planet, and then this Earth Defense Station showed up. And when they are examining the station, it's a huge vessel.
Okay.
Anyway.
We'll get back to that. But yes, this is Goo. But it's and it also that you see the ship destroyed. It looks like it's kind of sunk into the matter. However, the surface. But Blastoff and the Skuxoid aren't like sopping around in the mud.
No.
Also, the thing that makes it confusing is that Goo was destroyed by Galvatron, and also why would Goo be Decepticon territory. I guess unless it was just abandoned by the Autobots, so they've claimed it, maybe. But,
or the junkyards,
but also
or
it
whatever.
doesn't exist.
But although whenever we see we're jumping around a lot.
And goo would be a Junkion entity, so why would that wouldn't be Decepticon territory?
I don't think they follow the rules. I think that they're called Decepticons. But also, whenever they receive a distress call from Wreck-Ar about shit showing up, it does say goo with a number behind it. So maybe there are a bunch of these.
Yeah, it seems like you could have multiple junk collection.
Yeah, so I think it's like just a trash truck kind of thing. Anyway, where was I? Oh, they make Insectile shaky sounds.
We're all over
the crystals.
Place. I think we covered this scene pretty well. But other than that, the Skuxoid is like... He's basically, hey, I know where this stuff is produced. I'll sell it to you. Mm-hmm. And Blastoff is like, I don't like middleman, and cuts him out of the supply chain. But the Skuxoid just gives it all up, gives him a map, gives him everything.
Yeah, he does.
And he really didn't have his life threatened that much. But,
it's weird because also he says the Skuxoid says these crystals are hard to get and, quote, sell at a premium. Well, it seems like a stupid thing to use them for ammo in your blunderbuss if they're expensive.
Yeah.
It's also falling apart.
Also, nice pirates map.
I know, it's just a pirate map.
It's even got the burnt edges and it's all torn up.
He says it's a map of the planet, which I guess means it's a map to the mine of the planet, but it is just like as if you'd...
After seeing the weird planets on this season, for a second I thought, that is the planet.
Yeah. I thought that they were in Middle Earth. That looks straight out of J.R. Tolkien.
Yeah, they got little roads, a little star down there.
Where is Smog's Mountain?
Yeah, it's really funny.
Cybertron.
At least Cybertron's looking better, and probably because it's Toei.
For now. Enjoy it while you can. Autobot security officer Cup is telling some killer war stories. This one, Planet Dread, Cup versus the Ik-Yak. It's a compelling story that has gripped Blur, Wheelie, and of course, Grimlock. In the story, Cup outsmarts the Ik-Yak and is about to be captured by the native orbs. Mm-hmm. And he's going to be made a slave.
So, if you all had slaves on your APDC bingo card, go ahead and mark that off now.
We should just put it in the center. It should just be a gimme.
It should be a gimme. Yeah. The Ik-Yak, you may remember, mentioned back in Transformers the movie. Mm-hmm. Which I guess either he has a real beef with these creatures or the galaxy is just lousy with them.
Grimlock interjects. He's heard legend of this planet Dread and the chaos monster that resides on it. Cup, have you seen this creature? Shut up with that shit. Cup doesn't want to hear it. Clearly, mention of this chaos creature has triggered him. Forget you ever heard that name. And then Cup kind of just reflects pensively.
So, do you not like the animation in this episode? Because I think it's great.
This one's better, and even after watching the last one again, I feel like maybe I've been a little bit harsh. I don't know. I guess I felt like Toei was better. Honestly, we'd have to go back and see if it's a different goo than in Five Faces of Darkness. But yeah, the other thing I like about this, even though I think that the drawings are maybe inferior, at least to the best of season 1 and 2, I do like that there's more contrast in the shading. I like that there's more just really strong, dark shading. Shadows.
Yeah, there's a lot of dark, fun shadows and a lot of nice like highlights with the light.
The contrast is sharper.
And not that I'm complaining, but Wheelie says, scary story make Wheelie wary, which is technically a rhyme, but it's a weird one. Because scary and wary rhyme, but they're so far apart in that sentence.
I think it's probably one of the best rhymes he's ever made.
I don't even know what the rhyming scheme would be on that. A, B, C, D, A, I guess.
All cops are bastards.
That's true.
Scary story make Wheelie wary. It's a really cool reflection.
I guess, yeah.
Tell us more.
Scary, wary, story, Wheelie.
Story and Wheelie don't rhyme.
Are they supposed to?
Story, Wheelie, wary, scary.
I think best story and Wheelie are a sideways rhyme.
It's brilliant.
That's right. Caleb has drank an entire keg of NyQuil.
We are in space because we got a transmission from the Junkion Wreck-Gar, and in his metaphorical style, he lets the team know there is an issue on Goo. Our aforementioned Earth Defense Command station has been assaulted. We hop in Skylinks and go investigate. Why would they go to Goo, why would they mention the Earth Command Station if it wasn't that ship?
They'll say
and then go to Goo.
They'll say in a minute why.
Okay. Maybe I just missed it.
It's confusing. They shouldn't have the ship at all. Like, it should either be the space station or the ship. Mm-hmm. But the fact they have both is very confusing. Because what Rekgar says when they get there is that these weird ships have been showing up destroyed on Goo, and then now we have this Earth Defense Station that
but
also
the
showed up
Decepticons
damaged.
never talk about it. Or do
No.
we go to it later?
No, we
Okay.
don't. This is all we see of it.
All right. Then, yeah, they fucked
It's
up.
confusing.
They fucked up is what I think.
I don't think they fucked up. I think it's just confusing.
I think that the probably says station in the...
See, I thought that too, but no, because they say both the ship, and then we see the ship, and then they say the station, and we see the station.
I guess you were able to find the script for this
No.
episode. Okay.
I did find this. There are only 2 pages of the script, but
Okay. All right.
I
Just-
watched
just say
this
ship and
part a
station.
bunch because I was very
It's
confused.
fucked up.
Yeah, it is.
They're in Skylinks,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to go investigate the situation. Did you get excited? You were like, Earth Defense? Maybe Fairborn? will be in
Yeah,
this
a little
episode.
bit. I also, but while we're just discussing the fact that there's an Earth Defense Station that is huge and wrecked on Goo, was there a crew in there? We don't know. Do a bunch of frozen corpses come tumbling out when Cup starts to investigate? Because we'll see in just a second. Here it is.
We're on Goo.
And by the way, Blur turns off the Goo. And he mentions he's turning off the Goo.
Right.
And then in a second, he'll mention the Goo again. And I was like, why is he talking about Goo so much? And we'll find out why later.
They're investigating the Earth Defense ship.
That
Or the-
ship is just a ship. It's a random
Right.
ship.
It's
It
the
doesn't
ship that
matter.
crashed earlier.
Yes, it's the ship dispatched earlier, but it doesn't
But
matter.
that's what Cup is going to
From this
investigate.
point, no. No. He's going to investigate the Earth Defense Station, which we're about to go to. This is the end of the point where the ship matters. He passes by the ship.
Okay.
That's the station.
Okay,
It's
all
so
right.
fucking convoluted.
You're right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
He has a... oh, I thought I noted it here.
I didn't, but it's something.
He's got some kind of contraption that lets him detect
He's got a device of the moment.
energy of some kind of...
What was it called? They call it a bullshit plot device.
Yeah. They comment on the texture of the holes, and that seems to be weird. EIM. I guess I didn't name the device, but the thing it's measuring is the EIM ratio, and the only thing that could have done this kind of damage is death crystals.
Yes.
Grimlock shakes Cup like he's a housewife in a 1950s doctor's office. What the fuck is going on here?
Snap out of it, you're hysterical.
Just as Cup prepares to spill it, the Autobots get attacked. Yeah?
No, I was just going to say, so we have Blur and Wheelie in this episode again. Why the fuck is Hasbro so gung-ho on I was going to say Chip and Wheelie, on Wheelie and Blur? Like, were they really trying to move these toys? Like, why are these guys in so many episodes already?
Well, the answer is yes. I think maybe they were hoping Wheelie would be the next Bumblebee. But
Ugh.
Wheelie's toy is significantly cheaper than Blur's
Yeah.
toy. So I would just try and move that Blur. Just have one annoying character.
I think you're right about them trying to make him the next Bumblebee, because we'll see later he hangs out with Daniel a lot,
Yeah.
and it is
he's clearly meant to be cute and catchy with the rhyming and all that, but
yeah.
I wasn't drawn to him as a kid, but by then I was probably getting to be a little older. I don't
Like
know.
Ultra Magnus, Rodimus, Springo, RC, Grimlock, Perceptor, love them all. I don't like Blur and Wheelie.
No, not individually, certainly not as a group.
No. Why are they always together?
So
They're attacked.
It's Battle Charger,
Yeah.
Redneck Run Amok,
I love
riding
it.
a top blast off, firing the new Skuxoid weapon at the Autobots. They don't want this investigation to continue, and thusly are raining death crystals upon the Autobot team below. And
I
that is
do
where we go to
like
commercial.
that in Run Amok's tech specs, I looked him up. I did like the Battle Chargers, and in Run Amok's tech specs, it says that he likes junkyards.
Nice.
Yeah, he likes looking at the twisted metal.
It is interesting that the Battle Chargers made it to the cartoon, but I don't know what they were called, the Autobot version, Twin Twist and Top
Twin
Spin.
Twist, yeah.
I can't remember what they were called.
Turbo, maybe
Turbo
not.
Flippers.
I had Twin Twist.
I
Turbo
had,
Flippers.
I had the other one. I just said his name. Top Spin. I have them both, but they are the what was it? The Headmaster versions. They're actually pretty sought after toys right now. I could sell them for $100.
Did you hear that, everybody?
It's a profit deal. We return from commercial, and the battle continues. Skylynx transforms and picks up the crew. The battle redirects toward space, toward a Saturn. I assume it's Saturn or Saturn-like planet.
I guess it's Saturn because, like, it's the Earth defense station, so it's theoretically by Earth, but
In
it
this
doesn't matter.
galaxy.
It doesn't make any difference.
It does not. The Autobots are chasing the duo, and they're dodging death crystals. Skylynx gets singed a little bit. The next shot, presumably based only on dialogue, hits a comet, which creates a huge explosion that allows the Decepticons to escape.
I actually missed that entirely.
I was confused.
It's easy to miss because you don't see it happen.
Okay.
Like, here, let's just play it out here. Star Wars.
TIE Fighter.
You seem to have a lot of those crystals.
Say your last words, Autobots!
What did it hit? That's from a comet, and we know that because they say it.
How them blow up comet?
There you go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I missed that entirely.
Yeah. I thought maybe they blew up the planet or something.
I know. I mean, there's reason to believe that. It was a giant explosion. They make a big deal out of it. So, what are these things? How did they blow up Comet? Cup pulls a death crystal from the inside of Skylynx's interior as Grimlock and the team demand answers.
Well, now he and Skylynx are friends for life because he got the thorn out of his paw.
Cup folds. Here's the deal.
It takes forever though. Like, this is infuriating.
Just tell
he
the
just
fucking
will not
story.
speak. There's nothing more annoying than someone who will not only not answer your questions but refuses to engage in any way.
He's obviously got PTSD.
It's a tough time in his life, Ryan. Cut him some slack.
And I understand. I guess we're about to see like that Cup does fold and tells him what's going on. I guess that Grimlock is asking for clarification on what chaos is, but Grimlock says, "Who chaos?" And like, bitch, you brought him up like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, you should know. You said you heard of him before. Death crystals are the hardest, most destructive things in the universe, and they grow on the monster Chaos, who lives in Queeg Mountain on...
Oh, does it say Queeg Mountain in this?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought that's in the script, the 2 pages I have, but I didn't remember them saying it. Okay.
And that's on the planet...
Dread?
Dread, yes. And he is deep in them caves. He's a bad dude, and if you see him, you die.
Cup does say no robot has ever seen him and lived to tell about it, and then
Except for
instantly
him.
tells about it.
Yeah. We go back in time to Cup's story. The orbs captured Cup. They took him to Mount Doom, Queeg. The slave mines where the death crystals are gathered. Some shriek bats fly into the cave and assault the slaves. It turns out that these were just a herald of chaos. The mountain rumbles. Rocks are falling on many of the slave robots. Cup flees and finds a cell where there's many captives begging for help. Please. Cup reaches for the keys, but chaos emerges. He's a giant, stony, green, dragon bear Sasquatch motherfucker.
It's intense.
I like the design. I think it looks like Fantastic Four's The Thing, like in LSD hell. And I think Cup said this is supposed to be 100,000 years ago, which I guess if you live long enough, you're going to have been or will be a slave at some point. that tracks.
Certainly over 100,000 years. Fear overtakes Cup, though. He's afraid and helpless, and he ditches the cave, abandoning the slaves. And Cup has been living with the shame of this event to this very day. Mm-hmm. Sure has.
It's a nice bit of character development. I like it. Cup was afraid. He feels ashamed. He left the others trapped in a mine. I thought it was neat. I liked it.
Let us out of here. Here's the keys. Oh, shit.
I'm just getting like a view of what it's like to hear you tell a story to your children at bedtime.
Oh yeah, I fall asleep all the time.
Fucking keys.
I get called out for mumbling all the time.
Back to the modern day.
Tired.
You need to sleep more. You might have malaria.
Oh, Jesus, get away from me. I don't want you to pass it to me.
I got it hanging out with those Nazis in Argentina.
What about the Confederates?
Oh, that's what I meant. God damn it.
Well, no,
Fuck that up.
the Nazis are in Argentina.
I got it from those Confederates
I think
in
the
Brazil.
Confederates are in Brazil.
There you go. Now it works.
I need to do my
Everything's
research.
fixed.
That may not be correct.
Good job.
In the contemporary times of 2006, the Decepticons have taken control of the planet Dread. Galvatron has slaves working 24/7/365 to mine these crystals.
So they're taking over the operation.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was a little confused. So the orbs were the slavers that captured Cup and were using the slaves to harvest death crystals. Mm-hmm. And I guess the Decepticons just showed up and took over the whole thing.
The orbs aren't even a thing that matters anymore.
Just recently.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, who... Because the orbs didn't seem like they were necessarily in charge of this operation, but yet I guess they are the people capturing and bringing slaves here.
So they're
but
the
also
slavers.
I guess the whole chaos thing... I'm trying to understand the economics of this situation.
Chaos is just a monster that sheds like scales.
The orbs don't like him. The slaves don't like him. If he shows up, it's bad news for everybody.
It doesn't matter if they like him or not. He
just produces the scales,
the crystals that they use for the harvesting. Yeah, and if he comes around, it's bad.
It seems like you could
set this up like in a automated way.
Yeah, just capture him and put him in a cage and
just a different type of enslavement.
Yeah, enslave one thing.
But no, he seems really hard to fight.
Well,
that seems a lot easier to have slaves pick up the detritus than it does to capture that thing.
Yeah.
They just have, the orbs just have electric spears.
I like the word detritus.
Yeah, like that Junkion. There's a Junkion named Detritus. He's a hound mold.
The Decepticons are building a giant cannon to fire the crystals at Cybertron. Oh no!
I don't understand this either. Like, Galvatron is going to destroy Cybertron.
Yep.
He seems real keen on it, yet I don't know that he would do that. Like, he seemed pretty upset when Unicron ate 2 of the moons in the movie.
He's like kind of having a day where he's decided he's going to destroy it instead of take it over.
Well, at the time, the Decepticons were in control of Cybertron, and now they're not. So maybe that's...
He's like, if I can't have it, nobody can?
Yeah.
Sure.
But Char's not great. I think maybe just pump the brakes a little bit.
It's true. I don't think that it matters because... I don't think you should aim that scope directly. He's going to miss with the
I see.
distance
Orbital
and the passage of time, and the orbiting and the rotating and all that. He's not going to hit
see.
Cybertron, so nothing to worry about. You need calibration.
He doesn't have a perceptor.
Oh.
All he's got is fucking Astro
He
Train.
doesn't have a shockwave. Is Shockwave dead?
He's not dead, but he's not in season 3, I don't think.
He's miscolored somewhere.
He's just ignored.
just waiting to show up by accident.
I think there was a note to pull him out of season 3, like because he was in one of the 5 Faces episodes.
Right,
and
Blitzwing character.
Yes, Blitzwing.
Poor Shockwave.
The lightning starts to strike, the ground starts to shake, the cicadas start to awaken, and the slaves start to run away. We know what this means, even if the Decepticons don't know it yet. Galvatron commands Predacons go king mode.
I love
and capture
Predaking.
the runaway slaves, which he does.
I need to get a Predaking toy. I think I might just be a whore for combiners.
Old school G1 Predaking, horror or no horror for combiners. That's the one to
It's
get.
great. It's a great toy. Yeah.
Go get them.
Okay.
Some good Mystery Science theatering of this episode right here. Okay. He's captured them 3 at a time.
His scale is very dubious in this scene and maybe in the whole episode. Skylynx lands on Dread along with Blur, Grimlock, Wheelie, and Rekgar in case you forgot who was here. Also Cup, of course. Look out for the Quick Mud.
Chekhov's Quick Mud.
They are being stalked at this point by the Predacons in their various beast modes who attack. You got 2 cats on Cup. Blur gets knocked into the Quick Mud by the Bruisers. He's starting to get sucked in, and we are going to commercial.
And see, this is why he was talking about goo so much earlier, because he gets knocked into the goo.
What?
Yeah, he had 2 lines about the goo when he was turning off the goo on goo. And then he gets knocked in here and he talks about goo again. And it's like, that's why he had those 2 lines, because it was foreshadowing.
That
this.
exists as a callback to this.
Yes. Well, this is a callback to that.
I don't like it.
Okay. But also, it's, again,
it's
like
true.
Chekhov's mud, because they mention the mud in the very first scene, and then Blur gets trapped in the mud.
Right. I think you can let him go.
Yeah, I felt the same.
Casualties of war.
It's just like, oh no, help. Blur's sick of help.
And I think it's funny when he does it. He's like, da-da, blah, 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 like he's trying to talk, and they're just like, shut up, and they put him down below. Then they show it again. Like, it's like very satisfying to me to watch him get submerged.
I also wouldn't mind getting a Skylinks toy. That would,
Skylinks is pretty
and when I go to, whenever we go to Chicago, I may look out for Skylinks, Predaking, and Triptychon, I think.
Those are some big looks. Some big toys.
I guess I'll probably get one because those are probably all the same. Actually, Triptychon is cheaper than I thought when I looked on eBay. Even almost complete. There
are reissues of Triptychon from maybe the last 10 years that might be less expensive. Like $200, something like that, maybe.
If I decided to sell my Transformers, if I brought them to the TFCon, could I just sell them?
You could sell them like with room sales, or like
you can do whatever the hell you want.
What do you mean, like put them on someone else's table?
Just ask somebody to be
on Alpha Magnus's table.
Yeah, what's it called?
On consignment.
Yeah, just have them be your consignment seller.
I don't think I'll sell them unless they become thousands of dollars. And of course, fuck yeah, I'll sell them.
What are we doing here? We're back from commercial.
Skylinks has entered the fray.
He is
along with Wheelie and Grimlock.
Yeah, he separates, and Wheelie, Grimlock, and Wreck-Guard jump into the fray. Lynx engages with the Decepticons, and Sky saves Blur. Grimlock jumps in to help Cup, and Wheelie provides some offensive fire to drive the Predacons away. Bird Skylink says he's going to head off on a recon mission, which he's really not. He's really just going to attack Decepticons.
When Skylynx separates, is it always the cat that has Skylynx's voice, or does it?
I think they both do.
They both do.
So what's up with that?
I think it's basically like a clone, like clone personalities.
Interesting. Weird.
So I did think about that, Caleb, the Skylink split personality thing.
Yeah. I know, right?
I think it's this. I don't know. I mean, it's the same as like.
Is he a combiner?
I think it'd just be like if my arm came off.
Exactly.
And then I could talk to my arm, and my arm was like, "What up?"
But your arm would
or like imagine
your arm would talk.
Maybe it's Bluetooth. Maybe it's all just the one entity.
Your arm would also be you.
It transmits. He can transmit voice through that.
I think it's that. I think it's that it's the same person. It's just now you're in 2 different bodies.
So that's still the same person?
I think it's the equivalent of like just having a speaker somewhere that I'm talking into, and it's transmitting somewhere else. Time? Well, that is a thing. Yeah, that I think that they can have independent conversations.
Oh, well,
but
what's up with that?
These guys are.
Or maybe it's like Multiple Man in Marvel, where he can make copies of himself, and the copy is a copy of himself at that moment. And then if they were to be separated, they go off and live different experiences. But then when they combine back together, both combine into the same person, and they all had the experience that the other one had.
I mean, I think that's what's happening, unless like one of them really is just kind of a remote controlled thing.
Yeah, that I don't like that explanation. I like the idea that they're just the same person in 2 different bodies.
Yeah, they're independent. As when separated, they can create independent action
like
and have independent thought. Yeah, that new song. Oh, now the whole album's out, and Khalees is mad. Let me tell you,
I saw that.
Khalees is very upset with Beyonce.
I like Khalees too.
I'm sure that Beyonce's people paid Khalees's people.
I would hope.
But maybe Khalees doesn't have a good arrangement with whoever owns the licensing or publishing of her music. That's who she should be mad at. She wanted a call from Beyonce.
Could you say that Beyonce drank her milkshake?
Oh, that was very good. But that first single that came out, did you listen to that?
No.
It's like a house jam, but it also has Big Freedia in it. So it's like
I
a
love Big
house
Freedia.
meets New Orleans bounce type of song. It's really good.
Come on, Beyonce.
Let's
dance.
Y'all get back now.
Y'all get back now. Y'all get booty, 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 booty.
I do believe our Big Freedia impression is not good, but
What are you talking about? My Big Freedia impression's awesome.
I won a contest.
I won a contest.
we got Grimlock's on the screen. Oh, yeah. Skylynx is going off to assault Decepticons.
Yep.
Even though he said he was doing reconnaissance.
He got caught up in the moment.
I guess. We're going to be back at the mines. The cache of death crystals is almost ready, and when it is, Cybertron is Swiss cheese. But the Predacons show up and announce that there's an Autobot presence on this planet. Skylynx swoops in for an attack.
A lot of action in this episode.
The rest of the gang charges in. Predaking forms again and prepares for battle. While the Autobots fight, Cup enters the cavern to face his past. But Predaking cuts off the side of the mountain with his lightsaber, Mace Windu's lightsaber, incidentally, trapping Cup in the mines. As the Autobots try to fight Predaking, Cup walks the mines, calling for chaos to present itself. And it does.
But first, Cup says, "This is my fight. Now I gotta go face him," meaning Chaos, alone. You 100% don't have to do that.
Yeah.
At all.
Take Grimlock with you. He was interested.
Mm-hmm. This is again where I like the design of Chaos. I think it's cool.
Glad you reiterated.
It looked like something really fun to draw.
Maybe it's a poster idea. You keep thinking on that.
Shit.
Shit, man.
I got a rash.
I was trying to remember that. I don't know. Our head was in the same space, but I couldn't remember the line. So I was going to say, I got a raft.
Let's go floating.
I know how you like that.
Mm-hmm.
This episode wraps up really quickly.
It's true. So Cup is cut off from the others, and then they're fighting Predaking, and blah, blah, blah. There's some
more
bats,
shriek bats.
And then here come Chaos.
Outside the mines. I'm glad you did that. Outside the mines, the Autobots have a minor retreat. But inside the caves, Cup is taunting Chaos. There's a greater monster outside these caves, and you're too gutless to face him. Cup leads the slaves out of the mine. I guess he wasn't trapped after all. He gathers his cavern comrades and turns the turret of the Death Crystal cannon towards Chaos as he comes out of the cave. The trigger is pulled. Chaos gets a face full of green gravel. And the mountaintop explodes. Fire, lava pour from its sides. Skylynx flies in time to pick up Cup and the pals and safely exits
You
the
really
planet.
wanted to wrap this up fast.
It wrapped up pretty fast.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, like, the whole thing where Cup
Anytime that comes to an end, we can go back.
Cup freeing the slaves is it's what we call a redemption arc.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And also that I thought it was fun with Cup pushing another launcher into place.
Oh, I didn't even make that connection.
They make almost exactly the same illustration. I mean, technically, it is on a gimbal, I guess, where it's pushed around. I don't know why the automated processes are foreign to everyone, but whenever he and the other ones push it, it does look almost exactly like whenever they push the launcher in the movie.
Yeah, if you're not going to have a motor that will turn it, that means you had to build it to where it was pointing exactly where you wanted it.
Yeah,
but why even let it rotate? Why even give it the ability to rotate if you don't have a motor?
Why?
And you don't intend to let it rotate. It is one purpose.
It's quite silly. I did, and then Cup, before he shoots, he says, "Hey, Chaos, you left these lying around. I wanted to give them back to you," and then shoots him with the crystals. It's a long line, but it's a pretty good action movie line.
No, I like it. They give Cup good lines.
Mm-hmm.
Cup's one of my favorites. I thought the planet was going to explode. I guess I was pleasantly surprised that it didn't. However, whenever they're in space in a little bit, we just see smoke pouring from the planet.
I wonder if they took all the slaves, because we only see two. in there.
I'm sure they mean for us to believe that they did.
I think that's the implication.
It ends with him going, "Oh no, I forgot the slaves." Like, on the planet still.
He saves them from the jail cell just to leave them to be melted by the lava.
Oh no, forgot the slaves.
I did.
Wow, wow.
I'd like to the part where now Cup starts telling another war story where he says, what is it? Jonah Gar, we flew into the mouth of a giant space whale, which I thought was very funny.
Yeah. Little religious reference.
Little biblical.
We're on the ship home. We're returning back to Cybertron. Cup war stories. Most of the crew isn't having it, Ryan, but Grimlock is already on the edge of his seat.
Always.
Wanting
He's the number
more.
one Cup stan.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they're continuing that.
Yeah, I do. I like it too.
And that's the end of the episode.
I don't know if you guys knew, but I like Grimlock. So anytime he's around.
Oh, see, I thought you just liked the Dinobots as a group. I thought individually you were kind of like, whatever.
I like the Dinobots as a group, but if I had to, I care about Grimlock way more than any of the others. Like, what are you going to be like?
They're the only one you give reason to care about. So, that's the end of the episode. Discussion, fun details. Here's a little something. Casey Kasem's last episode was this one.
Who'd he voice?
He voiced one of the robot slaves from Cup's original flashback.
Oh.
Yep.
Obviously memorable.
Yeah, not very memorable, but I'm assuming it was in the episode that was very contentious, was in production at this time.
Yeah, it's pretty soon we're coming up on it. I think it's Thief in the Night.
New characters, voice actors. I can't recall if we covered Roger Bear. He voices Runamuck and Chaos. He also voices Runabout in other episodes. He was some of the minor characters in The Curse of Monkey Island. He played in a live acting role, the comedian in the Al Brooks feature Defending Your Life.
I love that movie.
And I do too. And do you guys remember Mac Tonight?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
The McDonald's
Dinner.
cool shades wearing moon character. He was the voice of Mac Tonight from the McDonald's TV shorts.
You know, I believe the actor who played him, and I always forget, is it Andy Serkis?
That played Mac Tonight?
I believe so.
The singer that played Gollum?
Like, he's a huge, because he's so skinny.
I didn't realize he'd been around that long doing like that kind of stuff. Okay.
Like, he plays in a bunch of suits because he's so thin.
So Andy Serkis
I
was
think
Mac
that's right.
Tonight.
He's not thin nowadays. He's beefed up. He was pretty beefy in, what was it? Black Panther?
But isn't that, that's, what's his face, this guy? The director. This is a different. It's the person who played inside this. It must be somebody else I'm thinking of. It's the person who played inside the suit in Hellboy. In not in the suit Hellboy, but in the mermaid guy.
Who was the director of Hellboy?
It was the first Hellboy was one of my favorite
Guillermo
guys.
del Toro. He's Guillermo del Toro's guy.
Ryan, thanks, Ryan. I
couldn't either.
Would it be Doug Jones?
Doug Jones, that's it. I think it was Doug Jones.
He does screen roles too, right?
I don't know. I'm glad I derailed this.
I want to find out if you're right, though. Yes, you are right. Jones started his career in the television and movie industry as a 1980s advertising character, Mac Tonight.
I'm so good.
Holy shit.
Well done, Ryan.
There's a payoff, Ryan.
I'm glad I was right.
We hung in there. We made it happen.
Jesus Christ.
So the voice of that character, Abe Sapien, was the dude from Frasier. What's his name?
Yeah, it's oh god damn it.
Niles.
David Hyde Pierce?
David Hyde Pierce. This guy looks like David Hyde Pierce.
He does look like David Hyde Pierce. He looks like David Hyde Pierce and Stephen Merchant had a baby.
Oh, nice. Yes, you're right.
Before we get into the real world of this time period, I will say if you like Cup's War Stories, go follow Cup's War Stories on Twitter at Old Man Cup. It's just a Twitter account that tweets little snippets about Cup going and doing things. I will say, tweets a little often.
Too often for your taste.
It's like once an hour, but if
Still
you like
funny.
that sort of thing.
Oh, he was the fawn in Pan's Labyrinth, which makes sense.
You know how directors have their guys, like Ryan Coogler with Michael B. Jordan.
Well, you meant so you had started to mention Black Panther earlier, Andy Serkis. Okay, all right, it's a confusion because Andy Serkis is in Black Panther.
Oh, is he? Oh yeah. You're right. I don't know why I got that.
Or Sirkin or Circus. I can't
why
remember.
that name got stuck in my head, but no,
They
that's
both
not,
have a similar
it's not connected.
behind-the-scenes kind of duty.
All right, let's.
In the real world.
Chaos aired on September 30th, 1986, one day after our last episode. In the American Top 40. That old Mr. Lewis and his Newsies are at number 1. So since we've covered them, let's do number 1 song for 3 weeks in the summer of 1986. On My Own, a duet by Patti LaBelle and Michael McDonald.
I don't know if I know that one off the top of my head.
On my own. On my own. You would know it if you heard it.
I'm gonna
Caleb
find it
will
real
find
quick just so that we can be like, oh yeah. Let's see, On My Own.
I would say Michael McDonald looks like a George Lucas cosplayer in this video, in the music video of this episode. And
Maybe
just
George
in
Lucas
general.
is a Michael McDonald. Feels like it came from this period. There he is. There she is.
You know what? That's a great song, but I don't recall ever hearing it before. Which
You'd probably remember the chorus, but it says "On My Own" a lot.
Wait, is it On My Own?
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I did.
okay, I believe you.
I do know the song. Thank you.
Aaron, do you know also who it was written and produced by?
On My Own?
That's right. It was Burt Bacharach and Carol Bea Sager.
My favorite name drop from the movie Monty Python and the Meaning of Life.
Oh, you gave it away. I was going to say you could win an APDC no prize if you figured it out, but
I guess I won the no prize.
you did. I'll give it to you.
Thank you.
Later. It's a melancholy story song, which I love, about a relationship that reached the end, both parties going their separate ways, but perhaps with hopes of reconciliation. The music video is a split screen with McDonald and LaBelle singing in identically laid out apartments with different furnishing, clearly meant to be on opposite sides of the continent. The song was initially not intended to be a duet at all, but LaBelle decided to invite McDonald to help her turn the song into a duet. As she stated, quote, "The song was sent to me and I did a version of it, but somehow it just didn't quite work. We were going over things I'd done and we talked about turning it into a duet. Someone asked if you could do it with anyone, who would you sing it with? And Michael was my first choice."
Oh, that's cool.
On My Own was the most successful single for both singers. In addition to the Hot 100, number 1, it was tops on the Hot Black Singles Chart for 4 weeks and number 2 on the UK Singles Chart. So they're both Patti LaBelle's and Michael McDonald's most popular song.
Far out.
I'm not surprised by that. That is interesting because by the 80s, they were both older already.
They were established, definitely.
Yeah, that's a way to put it.
Interesting. I like a lot of Michael McDonald stuff, and I didn't realize that was his biggest hit.
Yep.
You know, so I follow a lot of the Doobie Brothers and his solo stuff, but yeah, that's cool. Thanks for the knowledge.
Do you think
Ryan.
his bigger hits before that were more solo or Doobie oriented?
I think his Doobie Brothers stuff is really huge. But I think his I keep forgetting that song is probably one of his big ones. But
it was a clear black night. White moon, Warren G was on the strip. Okay.
I don't remember. I remember I was on vacation with my family one time, and my Uncle Morris. We were in the car and we were driving by. I don't even know where we were. It was out of state somewhere on the West Coast, and we were driving by a stadium. And he was like, "Yeah, Ryan. That's where the Doobie Brothers play." And I didn't have a reaction to it because I didn't know who it was. And I was like, "What?" And he goes, I think his wife even said something like, "Why are you telling him that?" And he's like, "I just wanted to see how Mr. Cool would react to that." I'm like, all right.
And that was the first and last time Ryan was ever called Mr. Cool.
I did put Mr. I did. We were one year. I think I was probably 14. We made our own we could put puff paint on our own stockings for Christmas in our names. And I wrote Mr. Cool. And my
that's really funny.
My family was not happy about it.
What?
I don't know. They thought it was I don't know. My family
Pretentious or
I think it was, I can't remember who it was, but somebody was annoyed annoyed by it. I don't remember who it was. There was one person who was annoyed by it.
You always annoyed the art teacher in high school. Like,
yeah, she was a fucking cunt.
Yeah, well, you played into it though pretty heavy. You know, you were. Just
Were you in the same class as him?
I was in one of them, but Ryan didn't. You know, I think he took like art 1 and maybe art 2, but we were supposed to we were to screen print something, and Ryan just made a black square, I get it, but he was there to not play along. I get that too. I'm just saying.
I was probably
too
insufferable,
cool.
but like
a little bit.
It was mainly a reaction to how annoyed she made me. Yeah. Like she was very. I felt like she was not. She was one of those people who's like cartooning's not a real art.
Yeah, it's unfortunate too because I find similarities between you and her. You guys were both kind of. I think you guys just clashed really.
Is she still alive today?
I think so.
Not.
Let's get a reunion.
Never mind.
I'm gonna have her on.
I don't know what happened to her.
But Mr. Cool. But that reminds me of like how people are always like, yeah, Ryan knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, God, we did not get along at all.
Not liking the art teacher, though, is a good way to fit into the outsider artist.
I liked every other art teacher I ever had.
Yeah. I was never in a space mentally where I fucked with teachers. I just kind of followed the rules and did.
You sexually harassed one of our teachers quite heavily.
I guess I didn't follow all the rules. Yeah, I was pretty cringy with a teacher once.
Oh, really?
Well, Mrs. She got married and got pregnant and had twins, but I thought she was cute. She was a sugar bear at one point in time. And
I feel like it seems like you follow her on Instagram now.
No, she talked about it
Okay.
in class. But yeah, I said some stuff I shouldn't have said, and I got suspended.
She did eventually have to shut it down.
I did not know this.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what I said. I think I was. I don't know. I was acting really. I thought I was being edgy, funny, and I think I said something about
That's
her
true.
being like, "What cheap motel room did you meet your husband in?"
okay.
It was something really bad. It was
yeah.
pretty bad, and anyway, I regret all of that.
Sure,
Yeah,
of course.
that's, I mean, just stupid good stuff. Anyway.
You found that you crossed the boundary, and now you know that boundary.
She let me know. I'm glad she did. I mean, I'm glad.
That
she
art
just let it
teacher
happen.
that I clashed with, she also apparently almost killed an entire room full of, not she, I guess it's defective equipment, but she told us a story in class about how they were doing a kiln, like at pottery class, and everybody started getting sleepy, and it turned out there was a CO2 leak in the kiln.
Yeah.
I feel a little bad. I called her a cunt. She was a bitch, though.
Dialed it down about a half notch.
I'll take it back a little bit. I'll walk it back. Number 1 at the box office, Crocodile Dundee will be our true number 1 film for the fucking foreseeable future, almost completely taking us through the end of season 3.
Oh, that makes me sad.
So let's cover one of my favorite films of 1986, Flight of the Navigator.
It's a good one. I saw that in the theaters.
It's been a long
did?
time.
Oh, I didn't see it in the theater. I used to watch it a lot on Fox 27. I think it was
on. Well, you know what? I got that confused with another movie, but I saw Flight of the Navigator on TV a lot too. I take it back.
What'd you confuse it with? Last Starfighter?
Which is the video game?
Oh
one?
no! You know, is Flight of the Navigator the weird shaped spaceship?
It's the one, yeah, with Max is voiced by Pee Wee Herman.
Yes,
by Paul Rubens.
I did see. Okay, you're very keen. I did see the Flight of the Navigator in the theater, and I was confusing that with the Last Starfighter. That
Also a good movie.
that I saw on TV a lot, which was also a very good movie.
Yeah.
But it has ET vibes. Flight of the Navigator.
Yep. And there are ET references in it.
Is it Steven Spielberg produced or anything?
No, it is Disney. Not produced. It doesn't matter. No, Steven Spielberg had nothing to do with it. It's a very charming film. It features NASA, time travel, aliens, and a preteen protagonist. So it's pretty much tailor-made for an 8-year-old jet man.
Mr. Cool.
Mr. Cool in the neighborhood, hating his art teachers, making squares on a T-shirt because he's too badass to be contained.
Puff paint on his goddamn stocking.
The plot revolves around 12-year-old boy David, played by Joey Kramer. If you want to be sad, look up what happened to him. It's drugs, same thing that happens to a lot of young actors. But he is excellent in this, and he falls into a ravine in the woods in 1978 and is knocked unconscious. When he comes to, it is suddenly 1986, though David has not aged a day. At the same time, an alien spacecraft crashes into power lines and is captured by NASA. Hospital tests on David's brainwaves reveal images of the spacecraft, and David is brought to NASA where he comes into telepathic contact with the spaceship, and the two of them escape together. The Trimaxian drone ship, nicknamed Max, is voiced by Paul Rubens, a.k.a. Pee Wee Herman, in a very Pee Wee Herman voice. Max needs information in David's brain to return home because he hit the power lines and it erased part of his memory. The movie also features an early appearance by Sarah Jessica Parker in a key supporting role. It's one of the first Hollywood films to use extensive CGI effects, which still actually look pretty good combined with the practical ones, namely the ship morphs size and uses image-based lighting to make reflections and shine, which is basically what T2 would use like 5 years later.
It's a cool movie.
Yeah, it's very. Have you not seen it? I guess, Aaron.
It's been a long time. I don't remember anything about this. Was the other movie the one where a kid's really good at video games, so he gets sucked up into space?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of the most.
Is that The Last Starfighter?
That's The Last Starfighter. Yeah. The film did respectably well, earning $18.5 million on a $9 million budget, and received very favorable reviews. Here's a fun fact. NASA gives David some gifts while he's staying in their facility, one of which is the 1984 Transformers toy Shrapnel in box.
Oh, shit.
He also gets a G.I. Joe. I can't remember which. One of the things I do hate about this movie is that it perpetuates the myth that humans only use 10% of their brain, which always pisses me off. That's that movie.
Everybody knows it's 11%.
Everybody knows it's 2%. Keep going, Ryan.
Oh, made me so angry. So, there's a hate crime in the basement. Fun facts from this week in history. It's 100%, by the way. Just, that's so stupid evolutionarily. Why would we use 10% whenever it takes 20% of our energy? It's whatever. Fun facts from this week in history. We haven't done this in a while. A TV guide cover from this week in history. On the cover of this week's TV Guide, September 30th, 1986, are Bronson Pinchot and Mark Lynn Baker of the ABC sitcom Perfect Strangers.
USA or Burst.
Yes. I think we brought this up before, but this show's theme song is high in the running for best intro theme song ever. I think we had a tweet from somebody who was also like, what about the Rockford Files? And I'm like, yeah.
It's a good one, but I'd say that
slaps.
I'd say, yeah, it's a great one. I would say that Perfect Strangers is much more well known.
I don't remember it off the top of my head, but I'm sure it's in that genre of like Full House style. But
it's not really.
There's more. Yeah. Okay.
On the wings of my dreams.
It's less Full House, more Greatest American Hero.
It is really. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Perfect Strangers ran for 8 seasons from March of 1986 through August of 1993 and chronicles the rocky coexistence between Midwesterner American Larry Applegate, played by Lynn Baker, and his distant cousin Balki Bartolomos Pinchot from the fictional Mediterranean island of Mypos.
Cousin.
Yes. Also on the cover of this week's TV Guide, Missing in TV News, Passion! ! And that story is by Geraldo Rivera, which is just too depressing to contemplate. Terrible journalist and helpful in the way news is told today.
What's interesting about Geraldo Rivera is he is the voice of reason on Fox News.
Well, that should tell you all you need to know.
Isn't that terrifying?
That's the real world.
Well, thanks for grounding us in that, Ryan.
You're welcome, you ugly fuck.
That's great. It seems as good a time as any to transition to Deviations.
We've talked about him once before, but our writer for this episode is Paul Jeffrey Davids, an American writer, producer, director, and UFO enthusiast. He must be loving all this soft disclosure like that the government is doing now with UFOs.
I'm loving it.
Are you?
It's interesting.
McDonald's. Yeah, it's interesting in a boring sort of way. UFOs, like aliens, never seem to do anything. Like, they always show up and are like, you're ruining the planet, but you're talking to a fucking guy in Florida whose pool pump is broken. Like, come to Congress. What the fuck are you doing, aliens?
Or help him fix his pool.
Anyway. I do think the UFO stuff is interesting. It's very weird.
I guess the weird thing is that the government is, like, admitting it. But then you got to think, well, what smoke and mirrors game are you playing by?
It is fun
by
that
releasing it.
That you can't trust anything.
Right.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great time to be alive, which is why I'm like, halfway through my life, couldn't it be a little more? So Davids was also the production coordinator for the Transformers for a time. He's probably best well known for co-writing the Star Wars young adult novels known as the Jedi Princess series with his wife Hollis. Davids also wrote the episode Cosmic Rust, which we covered in Season 2, and our future episodes Thief in the Night, which I think is the one which makes Casey Kasem leave, and Grimlock's New Brain, which is the one where he creates the... well, I don't want to spoil it. There are 2 pages of this script online, one from the beginning of Act 1 and one from the beginning of Act 2. In the script, like you said, Aaron, the mine is called Queeg Mountain. I don't remember them saying that, but apparently they did. But it is called, instead of Dread, it's called the Planet of Doom, which is fun. Chaos is
the Planet of Doom.
Yeah.
Gosh, that gives it even more Middle Earth vibes.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they avoided it. I don't know.
Chaos's original name in the script is Mayhem, and instead of a random race of slavers, the Orbs, as it is in the show, in the script it's the Quintessons, which I think changing it works better because I think it makes it complicated with it being the Quintessons, but also Cup would know who the Quintessons were.
Right.
Retcon-wise.
I'm wondering if that's why they made that change.
Probably. It's also hard to piece together because we only have the first page from each act, but apparently the script middled very differently because Act 2 opens with Ultra Magnus and Cup and Grimlock out in space with Skylinks, and then we cut to Autobot City on Earth, where Rodimus and Wheelie are working at a construction site, quote, near the campfire where Cup told his war stories, unquote. So I guess he told the stories by campfire instead of in the base, in the script.
Ultra Magnus is like, what am I doing here?
Out with him.
Yeah.
Out with Cup. So then Rodimus and Wheelie get an alert that the Quintessons are attacking Autobot City with cannons of death crystals. Wheelie is, quote, stopped in mid-sentence as the rays from the crystals soak into his circuitry and he turns deathly pale. Rodimus backs up a few steps, but to no avail. In moments, he is overcome and topples to the ground, non-functional.
Well, Wheelie's killed.
I don't think he's killed. I think it just incapacitates them. But that's all I have of the script, so I don't know.
Wishful thinking, right?
What
Exactly.
a fantasy. We almost saw Blur die and Wheelie die in one episode.
That's all I had for script deviations.
Who out there loves Blur or Wheelie unironically? Let us know. And your reasons. And you're wrong.
I think Harper likes Blur. He's into him.
All right. The alien prisoners were originally supposed to be organic, Ryan. Did you know that?
I did know that.
Got that from TF Wiki, but that was abandoned for robot prisoners.
It makes more sense. I don't know if you want to show like flesh slaves.
Yeah. Also, they reused the models for the flesh slaves in the Starscream's Ghost episode.
Oh, well, we'll get there.
That can be in our next trivia. Here's the answer. Note it, listeners. How do you feel about the scheme?
The scheme. It's not.
So it's specifically probably Galvatron's scheme.
To destroy his whole planet?
Yeah, I'd say it's
I guess it's fine.
It's
weird.
It's weird. I'd say
Pretty straightforward.
seems a little old school. Actually, it's like we're back like where we're harvesting some sort of energy to put into a big device
Just from another planet.
Yeah,
It's true.
So I guess it's not a bad scheme. It's
been done.
yeah. It's on. What am I looking for? It's on
brand.
On brand, but it's just a.
I'll give it a 3. I guess it's boring as shit, but yeah, like when you put it. But
I like the
think-
episode as a whole, though.
I do too, and I think like the scheme is not the important part. I think like the fact we get Cup character development is the interesting part.
Yeah,
That's the important part of the story.
yeah, for sure. Undoing mistakes from the past,
It's very therapeutic for him.
conquering your literal demons. Caleb? What is your metaphorical chaos?
Jesus, I wasn't expecting that question.
We
What
get
is-
deep.
What is my metaphorical chaos?
I mean, I guess for me it would just be crippling depression that I have to deal with, but
Mine is probably...
there's no way to get out of that. So I mean, there's no like you don't win, you just deal. Like you have to maintain, and mental illness is not your fault, but it is your responsibility. You just have to, get help and shit.
Mine is like a nagging, reoccurring sense of shame rooted in codependency.
Okay.
I haven't gotten that specific for me yet, but I'll tell you, I was thinking more of things from the past that maybe you feel like you needed to make up for, but these are real
I think
answers.
that you need to speak with this.
I was gonna make that joke. I was gonna say making it up to that teacher that I harassed and didn't even realize I was doing it at the time. All right, so we can. I am the ghost of the iconic moment.
I didn't really have one in this one.
My iconic moment is when the full image of the chaos monster appears, because I remember that. I think it was kind of a little freaky. For some reason, I think it was a little freaky to me as a kid. For some reason,
Well, in the original broadcast, it had it was full frontal penis,
Yeah,
which was
that
bold
too.
at the time.
yeah, it was.
So stupid. I'm sorry.
For me, I related to that, just those jailed prisoners begging for help and Cup being too petrified to save them. I mean, I think we always have those moments where we think, what would we do in times of peril? Would we step up?
I mean, I don't really
and to see
blame
this
him.
heroic character not stepping up.
I don't really blame him. Like I
No,
don't
not
think
really,
I think
but-
it's completely understandable.
Yeah, I guess it feels like the first time in a cartoon that you've seen something like that, though.
It was, yeah, that's true. It was. I think maybe that's why I liked it so much, because it's very like, oh shit, that's that's a real like thing, like not a real in so much as like it would happen, but real in like it's a crisis of conscience, I guess. But
Yeah. All right.
Next time on the Autobot Decepticast.
You guys know how sometimes when you awaken, it's light out,
Yeah.
but sometimes when you awaken, it's still dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
it?
Yeah, that's me.
All right, everybody.
I haven't looked into what the next episode is, so okay. I'm as curious as a cat.
If you would like to support the show, we invite you to check out our Patreon page. It has several levels of support, come with many benefits. Ryan, name 4 benefits.
You get, we always do buttons. We created a button last episode that will be in there, I'm sure, despite it's a 2-1 vote. We did some fun art prints. There's always a poster in the booty boxes. I think I know what the poster's going to be this one. And,
So the booty box, that's one benefit.
oh, you wanted more benefits than that?
Roll it up.
And roll it out.
I feel like we have a pretty good engagement on Patreon. I think there's, like you said earlier, Aaron, not only people engaging with us, but also each other. And that's fun. I try to put all the ancillary material up there of like, the scripts that I read for the deviations. And then whenever we just a couple of weeks ago released a Patreon exclusive bonus minisode that was about 20 minutes long. Mm-hmm. I got 2 more.
Exclusive content, community, booty boxes. Hey, and the most prestigious benefit of all for the upper crust of the Patreon community would be original Ryan Jet artwork.
If you want to really shell it out, yeah.
And maybe you'll get it.
Get it. You will get it. Everyone is up to date except for our friend Michael, we've just learned
We can ship to Australia.
we can
now.
ship to Australia, so that's coming.
All right.
And
he's so impatient. He's always complaining to me on the side about how he wishes you would hurry up.
yeah, that's a joke. It's the opposite of that.
Michael Trimlin is the epitome of.
He's very cool. He's been very cool about the fact we can. He's like, whenever we.
I was going to say impatience.
Oh, I don't know what this is.
Well, and we think we can ship to Australia. It still says you can't on the U.S. Postal Service website. I may have just gotten a cool teller because
or a wrong one or
well, maybe but if we can get that thing out of here, great. I think it'll get there.
Let's try it.
I think it really depends on who you get at the window sometimes.
That's weird.
Yeah, because I swear to God, well, you remember I was telling you guys that I'm almost positive they're interpreting the ones I had problems with were interpreting the rules wrong, and I think I got one that was interpreting it right.
Huh, that's interesting, because I saw, like, Yoshi tweeted something about not being able to ship stuff to Australia as well, and I'm like...
He's getting a hold of those people that are wrong.
We're going to try.
We are.
That's the key.
So, it's only over almost a year late.
Yeah. What a guy.
He's great.
What else is going on?
Buy us a drink.
There's buy us a drink. The $5 investment. Every time it cracks me up. Inside your wallet now and buy us a drink. Just the fact that he was proactive enough to pull it up.
I'm awake for that part.
Yeah, $5 to us at PayPal at APDCast. Let us know what kind of drink you want. What do you want me to say? If you want me to tell your name, whatever you want, and I'll make it a show you. You sloppy bitch.
Ooh. He'll call you names too if you want.
It will be unpleasant. All of our shout outs include something that's weird. So
it's true. And there's also the store. If you're not feeling like a Patreon is your bag, then there's individual items.
Mm-hmm. We got
buy it.
We got buttons. We got cards. We got posters. What else we got?
Caleb never misses an opportunity to promote that Wheelie postcard.
So
that Wheelie postcard's been getting some sales.
It's getting some. That's got people talking.
Yeah.
You gotta get it before it disappears. Everybody,
if you want to see what I'm talking about, go check it out.
That's right.
Check it out.
Additionally, feel free review on your podcast application of choice. 5 stars, please. And you can connect with us on various social media. Twitter's the best one.
Yep. Twitter is where we're the most active.
We're still trying on Facebook.
It's all at
I prefer Instagram, but I just don't keep up. I'm sorry, but we're
so
there.
You don't prefer Instagram?
No, I mean I like it as a platform. Like it's my favorite platform. Yeah, yeah, in theory,
but not in practice.
Got it. All right, love you guys.
Hey, have fun.
See you in Chicago in October.
Yeah. Woohoo!
That felt a little premature, but
no way.
What do you mean?
People got to buy their tickets in their room. They got to get going. We got to tell them about
this
it now.
This is coming out like in September.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
See ya. It is getting close. I didn't realize that. Fuck.
Cells is the sponsor of Autopod Decepticast. Yes.